Play surges forward. Possibility!
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Retro Football. Dave is back with me. Mate, how are you doing? We had our jabs, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Mine sort of knocked me sideways a bit, but I'm all good now, guys. I'm all good
Same.
now. Yeah.
I am as well, guys. I needed a big sleep, and in my sleep I was dreaming of this game, Football Kingdom.
Yeah. Football Kingdom.
It just said Trial Edition. Talk me through this, Dave.
Yeah, it did say Trial Edition, and that's the reason why a lot of people watching this won't ever have heard of this game. So this never actually came out as a full game. It only ever came out as a Trial Edition. Also,
Wow.
There's an English patch. So this originally was a Japanese-only game that Namco released for the PlayStation 2. I think it was around about 2006 that this came out, if memory serves me correctly.
Okay.
So here we are with an English patched version, so I could actually stand a chance of navigating the menus of the game.
Did you play this back in the day around release?
I didn't. In fact, you and me were both members of a football gaming forum at the time, and people were talking about this game, but they were talking about this game for one reason and one reason only. Do you remember what it was?
Net physics.
The goal net physics, which in all fairness, having scored a few goals on this, and you'll see in this video, I actually agree, the net physics do look pretty damn good. They're very, very well done on this game.
Oh wow, it's got real player names. Look at that.
It has, with the exception of Germany, because Han, I don't remember him being
and Dalak, I think it was Dalak then instead of Balak. The Sadio Giovanni, that's fake, isn't it? The
Messina.
name of that, I think.
Yeah, it totally is.
Oh wow, this is cool. Look at this.
Yes, you can see the likenesses of David Beckham and a sort of Oliver Kahn. Fair play, please.
Yeah, it's got a very big Japanese vibe within the presentation. Oh, it's the San Siro. Okay.
It's the San Siro, yeah. Now, what I like about this is it's very similar to Winning 11 and PES at this time. As in the way they've done it, the art style, the introduction, and this even extends to the gameplay to a degree as well.
I was going to say, this, if I didn't know, is that Skullsy?
That's Skullsy, yep. And Rio
Ginger
Ferdinand.
Prince.
Yeah.
He's the Ginger Prince. I was going to say, you'd think, or if no one told me what game this was and it was playing in the background, I'd be like, oh, which version of PES is this?
Yeah.
It really does look like Pro Evo 3 in a way.
It does. It looks very much like it. But the thing is, it's actually a decent game. It would have needed some refinement, which we can talk about, but it's a decent game. Why didn't it come out? Why did they not make a full version of this and release it?
I'm intrigued. I can't wait to see this, how it plays, mate.
Because even just looking at this view, I'm going to change the camera settings because this is what me and you have always done since day dot of football gaming, to try and get it as far away as I can get it. Look at the view. That view looks awesome to me.
It does,
looks like PES. It just looks exactly like a PES game.
It looks quick to me, but I suppose old football games always do look a bit quick. I like that cursor you've got before
So
the
do
pass.
I. That cursor's very significant because if you're not looking and paying attention where that is, you'll misplace passes all the time. That's one thing I did like about this when I started playing it. I thought it was really good.
Do you have to have it on, or is it just on by default and then you can turn it off?
I think it's on by default, but of course I haven't been through the options to see, but I quite like it, but I'd imagine you probably could turn it off. It's sort of a semi-manual passing sort of mechanic, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you have got that in some PES games, the ability to turn that on or off, manual pass, sort of whatever it's called. But yeah, this looks really, really good. Have you enjoyed your time with it?
Very much so, because it's also a bit of a challenge as well. It's not easy, and I really liked it. I thought this is decent. It needed more refinement because it feels quite clunky in places. You know, like some of the really old PES and ISS games, you get stuck in animations and it would just feel really, really clunky. At times, that's what happens here as well.
Oh,
and
nice
also,
ball to Owen.
Yeah, and also you've got to pay attention to that cursor, which at times is very difficult to do because you're...
You kicked out for throwing, and I'd probably struggle with that for a few games, but I suppose it's about, like the old PES games, mastering it.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I like the physics. I think the ball physics are decent. I think the way the players move, they feel like they've got weight to them, just like the old Pro Evo games did. This is really good. This
looks good.
This is above the FIFA and the This Is Football games that we've covered. This is above that. This is above that in terms of levels. Why didn't Namco release this?
Yeah, you are struggling with that passing though, mate, aren't you?
Yeah.
Kicking it out for the throw, but like I say, it's got that depth. What are those arrows there? Is it telling you got players in
runs.
positions up front?
Yeah, I think it's to do with player runs, because earlier on, as I got to the byline, you could see an arrow denoting a player in the box for me. Again,
Okay.
I'm hoping maybe you could turn that off, because that would annoy me back in the good old days. I wouldn't have wanted that, because that's just, more of an arcadey game, isn't it? It's a bit like Virtua Striker.
Yeah, it is, yeah. This looks cool. I'm going to try and play this, mate, actually, at some point.
Yeah, which actually brings us on to how I'm playing this. So I picked up a Japanese PlayStation 3, one of the launch Japanese PlayStation 3s that can play PS2 games. And I don't mean part emulation, part, hardware. It's got a PS2 inside it. So I'm playing this exactly as it would have played on a real PS2.
Oh, wow, natively. That's cool.
Natively. So with yourself, we'd be able to set up some PCSX2 emulation. And in actual fact, it would look quite nice, I'd imagine, with PCSX2.
Yeah, would it upscale it, maybe?
Yeah, should do. It should upscale it. That's something we'd need to tinker with. But yeah, I think you definitely do need to play this, because you will get something from this game, I think.
In regards to content, is it international teams only?
It is, yeah. I do wonder if Namco would have added more teams in had this become more than just a trial. But yes, it does seem to be just international teams only.
Look at the runs your players are making, the AI players off the ball for you to, or running into space for you to. It looks very tactical. Like you could really delve into the tactical side of this, and it does look like it's got a lot of depth gameplay wise.
Yeah, I think it has, and it definitely feels that way. And as I say, I put it straight onto the hardest difficulty because I wanted the challenge, and it's quite difficult. You really have got to think about what you're doing, and as you've seen, I've misplaced so many passes because you've got to take your time. But at the same time, if you're under pressure, you've then got to rush. It's an interesting way of playing the game. But as I say, this reminds me of the good PES games we had at this time.
Sure. What platforms, what systems did this appear on?
Just the PS2, from what I can gather. It was only released on PS2. Yeah. And in case anyone's wondering, no, I haven't just downloaded an ISO of this game. I actually own a physical copy of this game.
That's cool. What, you picked it up off eBay?
Picked it up off Amazon, actually, and I saw it quite cheaply on Amazon. Yeah, so I thought I'll have some of that, and it arrived as if it had never been opened, so I think it was new.
It's pretty good for video games, especially old video games still in shrink wrap, brand new Amazon, but they're a little bit on the pricey side, the ones I've noticed.
Yeah, with this one, I think because it's quite obscure, not too many people know about it, it's a bit of a niche game, really, because we knew about it due to a forum, but a lot of people would have had no idea about this.
Same, yeah, I agree on that, because it was PES and FIFA, really, and then a couple of other games sprinkled around that. Like here in the UK, you might have noticed stuff like club football.
Yep.
Because of the licensing, it was clever with its marketing in that sense, the Man United edition or whatever.
Yeah.
But Football Kingdom, we didn't see it here in the UK and Europe at all, I don't think.
No, we didn't at all.
Unless you imported it, obviously. There was something about the Japanese being able to develop really good football games around the sort of late 90s and the noughties, wasn't there?
Yeah, there definitely was. I mean, Konami were fantastic with the ISS and PES games. They absolutely nailed it for me, and then have obviously lost the plot somewhere along the lines and have never got back there. And this is pretty decent, but this isn't Namco's first football game, because I also have another one of their football games on the PS1, which I won't spoil it for everybody. We will cover it in a future episode.
Definitely, mate. We'll definitely look at that. But anything more to add about Football Kingdom? What about the nets? We haven't seen the nets bulge yet. Do you score in this footage?
I do score in this footage. It might be a case of you chopping to that later on so people get to see the goals.
Okay.
And I let the replays play as much as I can so you can see them.
Okay, guys. So, this is Football Kingdom on the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
Yeah, and Dave from YouTube channel Dave's Game Room has got tons of retro stuff on his channel, guys. Not just football gaming related. Dave likes to twiddle with stuff. So he's always building devices and fixing devices and that kind of thing, and I love it. So check out Dave's channel, guys. I don't say this enough on this series, but I'm going to put the link in the description below. He hasn't done a video for a while because I keep nagging you, Dave, to do one, and you will do one
I
again
will do
one
one.
day.
In fact, it may well be a collab with yourself to do with backwards
It's all good.
compatibility. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do something like that. But guys, here are the goals. and you have an awesome weekend or weekday or wherever you are, whenever you are.
ナメロこの位置でボールを奪われては危険シュートボールゲット均衡を破れました1対0イングランドゴールですイングランドこれは楽になりますね
今倉敷さんもおっしゃいましたけどこれは大きいし楽になりますよね
そうですね